Hi everyone, welcome to the channel for this latest update on Preston Street, my N-gauge micro layout based on the former goods yard in Whitehaven and Cumbria. In this video I ballast the track, add some hard standing and some a little bit of the back seam and also a goods shed. So as a quick reminder, Preston Street is based on the former goods yard in Whitehaven and Cumbria. This started life as a terminus for the Furness Railway before becoming a goods yard for the town. Over time, the traffic declined until the period I'm modelling here, which is sort of the 1980s, early 1990s, where it was mainly used for chemical traffic for the local Albright and Wilson Marchand plant. If you watched the last video, you'll have seen I got the track painted and laid. So the next step was to do the ballasting, and for that I used chinchilla sand, which I've used on quite a few of my layouts in the past. I find it's a little bit finer than the the N-gauge ballast that the Sol does actual ballast. I find the chinchilla sand is a little bit finer. So this was glued in place using the usual 50-50 mix of PVA and water. And then once it was all dry, which didn't take anywhere near as long as it has done in the past because it's a nice warm summer, sort of, I then airbrushed it with some earthy brown Tamiya paste, Tamiya paint, sorry, to kind of sort of darken it down a bit because the chinchilla sand is quite light in colour, quite a lot lighter than the sort of ballast that's in the prototype. Once that was done, I added some hard standing, and for that I used some very thick card, just sort of measured that out, glued it in place, and then painted it a light grey. Once that was dry, I added some white weathering powder, just to kind of sort of make it a little bit less uniform. Again, sort of trying to match the prototype in this. You can sort of see how it looks in this photo from Andrew Gallen. And then to sort of blend that together with the surrounding ballast and the ground, sort of used a little bit of modelling clay, which I probably should have done that before I started painting, but I did the same painting after I sort of added the clay, so it all looks the same now. As you can see in the photo, the yard's quite overgrown with grass and weeds and things like that, and so I wanted to try and replicate that. So how I've started with that is using some Woodland Scenics fine turf for the areas that are going to be going to have trains running up and down them, which again sort of reflects the image you can see. I'm using the fine turf rather than what I have used in the past, the Peco grass scatter, because it's a lot shorter. If you look at the images, the grass doesn't seem to be above the track, whereas the shortest Peco grass is about 2 mil, which would be too high. So that's why I've decided to go with the Woodland Scenics fine turf. So I'm going to use I have used the fine turf sort of on the two roads on the right hand side, which are going to have traffic on them. For the ones on the left, which are going to be unused, I'm going to blend the fine turf with the Peco grass scatter, which again reflects the image. So where it's the line's in use, there's low lying grass, where on the left hand side where it's not in use, you can see there's weeds and all kinds of stuff. So trying to reflect that with the use of various different types of scatter. I'm also going to try and sort of reflect the different colours in the grass, again using the different types of fine turf. So I've just made a start with the green, sort of a light green colour, and then I'm going to blend that with some yellow. And I've also got, for the Peco grass, I've got the green grass, and I've also got some of the sort of brownier, orangey dead grass as well to mix it all together to try and get that look. I've added an extra bit of back scene made of card and an old ice cream tub, as this original baseboard was going to be used as part of a bigger layout, but I've changed my mind with that. So I needed an extra bit of back scene behind where the behind where the good shed's going to go. So yeah, that's just sort of glued in place and has been painted sort of sky blue, the same as the rest of the back scene. And one way I've sort of deviated a little bit from the prototype is with the good shed. So there aren't any off-the-shelf good sheds that match the good shed that was at Preston Street. What I've decided to do rather than scratch build one is kind of use my old Green Farish engine shed from my original Magnum layout for now. As I don't like having all those buildings not being used for something, and this seemed like an obvious use for the engine shed. So what I've done is cut it in half, and then removed a lot of the all of the old print on it using water and a scrub and brush. Once that's sort of back to the base plastic, I then glued on some Skill Scenes Sandstone print that I've been using quite a lot on St. Bees, because again I think that sort of looks like the same type of stone that was quarried around about St. Bees, so that sort of browny sandstone. So that's for the walls at the side, that's all glued on, and then for the roof I've just used some Skill Scenes roofing tiles. Yeah, and so I think that's not a bad representation. It's a lot smaller, I think, than the good shed that was on Preston Street, but you don't, in a lot of the views I've got of it from sort of playing with the layout, you don't really get that sort of close-up view of the good shed so much. So just having something in the back that looks a little bit like the good shed, I think is okay. But don't be surprised if I do change my mind in the future. Should have also mentioned on the good shed I've added some concrete lintels above the doors, and these are just little bits of card that have been painted grey. I've added doors sort of to close one of the good sheds. These are from Slaters. They're just wooden planking, just sprayed light grey and then glued behind. And yeah, I think overall it's not an exact replica, as I said, but I think it's not a bad not a bad match from particularly from the angles you're going to be viewing it from. Also, along the back scene, I've added a wall. This is just made using card and that sandstone print again from Skill Modder Scenery. It was Skill Modder Scenery only for the sandstone print, not Skill Scenes. I got that wrong. But yeah, that wall's gone all most of the way along the back scene there, and then it ends, and I think it then becomes fencing. But I haven't confirmed that yet, so that's why I haven't added anything else beyond the wall. And that for now is kind of the back scene as I've got it. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm up to. So what I need to do now, I think, is finish off the grass turf using more variations of the yellow and the green, particularly around where the hard standing is. It looks like they've used some weed killer to kind of kill off some of the grass and weeds, which makes sense. And that's kind of gone quite a yellowy colour, and that sort of blends into the green as you move further away from the concrete standing. Also having a bit of a think about the back scene. So originally I had planned to use Google Street View, as you can get quite a good view up towards Hensingham of the back scene. but I don't think, because it's quite a long bit of backseam I need, I don't think I can get that image to look very good. At the moment it's just blue, and I was sort of thinking, well, I could just add in some of the buildings that would have been there. So there's a rugby club at the far end of the layout near the good shed. There's looks like a couple of old rickety buildings, and maybe some trees might work. So an alternative is to use a off-the-shelf backseam. So from Railway Modeler, I had from one of their magazines an old sort of townscape view, which I think might work if I sort of cut it down a bit. It's not the right angle, but I think if I can remove maybe the bottom half, that might actually work. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'll stop rambling on. I hope you've enjoyed this latest update to Preston Street. If you did, please consider leaving a like and a comment, and yeah, I'll see you all next time.